I'm a 35-year-old white man.
Harrison, born Antoine Smalls, has transracial identity, identifying as Harrison Booth, a 35-year-old white man from Colorado.
And when did you know that you were a 35-year-old white man?
Well, I've always felt different. I go to the store, the movies, and just be thinking to myself, like, why am I not getting the respect I deserve? And then it just hit me. I'm white and 35. I just miss Colorado sometimes. You know, here I pretend the buildings are the old San Juan mountain range, but, you know, the job's just here.
And where do you work?
I'm a systems engineer for Coca-Cola.
Oh, okay.
That boy don't work. He go to school and that's it. One day he said, call me Harrison. I said, who's that? He said, me.
Do you believe that he is a white man?
I mean, he isn't. Shit, I'd love to wake up one day and say, hey, everybody, I'm Rihanna. But I ain't.
This clip cannot get old. When I look back, when I first saw this video, I had to laugh to a certain length. That is not our focus on this clip. Recently, I realized something with people. I came across a series of videos on this panel. I don't know what is actually happening. They can't still define what is a woman.
What is a valid answer to wash what is a woman? Question that we can use to push back against hate. I think that, in my honest opinion, you don't have to affirm your identity with anyone but yourself, not even your father. You don't have to have an answer. You don't have to have the answer. There is no perfect answer, especially as it relates to ignorance and bigotry. At this age that I'm at, one thing I've learned is that you don't have to change people's minds. And sometimes you can't change people's minds. You don't need to convince somebody to see you as a human. You don't have to answer the question of what is a woman, because a woman is so many things. A human is so many things. Like, it's not a monolith. A Black person is so many things. A trans person is so many. You have so many facets to, like, your identity, your human experience, yourself, that it's a waste to try to define it, because why do you have to define it?
Yes, welcome back. We are living in a society where people can't define what is a woman. I imagine having a panel of 20 or so individuals trying to figure out a proper answer to the question, what is a woman? If you remember, Matt Watch did an interview with a lot of people by simply asking, what is a woman? You realize a lot of people cannot actually answer this question because of the way of the perceived life.
Question of what is a woman? Womanhood is a social construct. It's definitive based on time and culture. So people always argue like, oh, womanhood is not a social construct, but what womanhood is based on, you know, our past versus now has changed versus, you know, what womanhood is for us versus other cultures. So case in point, the color blue wasn't associated with men until in, I think, the 40s. And men wore pink for a while as well. And so the fact that, like, it's just so fluid within history and different cultures is a testament to the fact that it's a social construct. And being a social construct means that it is very much individualized, that it's not stagnant. So I guess I would start there. And also that, like, womanhood can't even be defined because gender is a social construct, and gender currently is defined by white dominant culture of the binary. Any binary in and of self, but especially gender, it's all colonization. Like, it's the erasure of everybody else. Like, even sex is a spectrum. I'm like, there's very little in human behavior that's absolute or black and white, no pun intended. So why should that be limited, to everything else but gender and sexuality and all the things? So yeah, like,
if you're looking at the comment that they shared was, I was just sharing in my group how one of my coworkers challenged my identity using the trick question of what is a woman? And they unfortunately did not have a chance to, debrief with their group. So I don't know if anyone has a way to respond to like shut that down in the moment. How can we be the bystander in that moment? How can we interrupt the harm in action? Sorry, just this idea. So like asking someone like, well, what is a woman? Which is just, gender is already a social construct. So to even ask that question just shows that this person doesn't understand the idea of like what gender is. So many things that we consider as truth. It's just that's just what the systems tell us, right? Now that I've had a chance to calm down a little bit. My first instinct would be if you have the energy. And again, sometimes the best thing to do is just be like, I'm not engaging with you, and just walk away. Rose, I am so sorry you had to deal with that. Okay, I'm not gonna go off right now.
Yes, one woman wrote, I just asked my 11-year-old what a woman is, and without even mentioning genitals, he nailed it. Describe common personality traits and behaviors that are in fact more noticeable with human females. Then I explained the anatomical aspect and he accepted it without question. He was more confused when I explained to him that some people can't do that. Parents need to do more. Yes, and that is true. If you have a child in the house and you don't actually educate them about these things, they will grow up to a certain level with this kind of mentality. They can't simply define a woman. A woman is a social construct. This one says a woman is that. All this to buy this idea of transgender people. That is all they are struggling to do here. Nothing too important to even see. Now, taking a look at the first video, I had to laugh throughout. A man just sit up one day and decide I'm a white man, a black person. I don't know if these people are actually normal when they do this. This is an old clip I decided to put in this because it reminded me of so many things I'm seeing nowadays. We are seeing people getting up, I want to be a woman. Now you're seeing a black person, I want to be a white person. So you see the kind of confusion that is happening. He started this, and at a certain level, you realize it might become a trend. You see black people just getting up, I want to be a white, and demand respect. Because you look at him, I go somewhere, they don't respect me. That is crazy.